Welcome to BACKtalk, the premier podcast from Successful Black Parenting Magazine. I'm so glad you guys are here and joining us. This is a podcast that features in-depth conversation and experts' insights on crucial topics for Black families. We're ranked one of the top Black family podcasts on FeedSpot. And I want to tell you today we have a very good topic. So you want to want to stay tuned. I am your host, Janice Robinson Celeste. Now, let me ask you, moms, what age did you get your first period? Well, if you remember, it can be scary, right? It can be really scary. And you can, if only though, if you're unprepared. So we're going to talk about that today. And I want you to stay tuned as we get started. So that's good. We're having some difficulties today. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. That's really wild.
This is BACKtalk by Successful Black Parenting Magazine, the most listened to podcast for parents by parents.
It's really strange. So, guys, I'm having some technical difficulties here with my computer. I'm thinking it's my computer. It's not my connection. We're going to keep going. We have to step away for a second just to see what's going on. But we never had this kind of problem before. But I could see my video is choppy. I'm going to step away and we're going to start the stream again. So stay tuned. I'm just going to refresh. Okay, hang in there. Really weird. Okay, we're working fine now. We're going to restart this whole program from the top, guys. So bear with me. That way we can edit it clean, okay, and have the edited version. So here. Hey, welcome to BACKtalk, the premier podcast from Successful Black Parenting Magazine, featuring in depth conversation and expert insights on crucial topics for the Black family. We are ranked one of the top 4 family podcasts on FeedSpots, specifically Black family podcasts on FeedSpots, and that is an honor. I am your host, Janice Robinson Celeste. Let me ask you a question. Moms, what age did you get your first period? Well, if you can remember, it's often a scary and awkward time, especially if you're not prepared. If you have a young daughter, today's back talk topic is for you. So stay tuned.
This is BACKtalk by Successful Black Parenting Magazine, the most listened to podcast for parents by parents.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning into BACKtalk by Successful Black Parenting Magazine, your go-to podcast talk show for parents. Now, I need a little favor from all of you fabulous listeners out there. Go ahead, spread the word about our show. We are live. As you can tell, anything can happen when you're live. That means, though, you can post questions under this video and we will answer your questions live on air, but you have to do that early. Tell your friends, shout it out to your followers, because sharing is truly caring. And don't forget to use our hashtag, which is right down below, BACKtalk, hashtag BACKtalk. Now, that way we will know when you post about the show and we can highlight your posts. Now, let's dive into today's show, because I am joined by Dana Roberts, and she is the founder of RedDrop, which is a period kit for teens. So welcome to the show, Dana.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I apologize for all the technical difficulties. Of course, it happens at the last minute. It was working just fine. But I want you to tell the audience about your background and how, you discovered this need for RedDrop.
Yeah, sure. So I am a former educator, 20 plus years, a teacher, former administrator, former founder of a school, but RedDrop essentially started out of my classroom. So I was teaching a 5th grade girls class. That it was a single gender class. I was in a single gender environment. And what I noticed about my girls was that they were starting their periods with me. They were grossly unprepared. Their caretakers were basically like having this emotional kind of inept episode as, they started their period. And selfishly, my daughter at that time, I have 2 daughters right now, 26 and 20, but my oldest daughter was in 5th grade. And so, of course, like any mother would, I started looking at my own daughter like, wait a minute, like if we're looking at this class, right, basing it off of this baseline data point, my daughter is about to start her period soon, and so I realized like it wasn't fair to leave that responsibility up to a teacher. I needed to step my game up and have this conversation with her and prepare her. And so, in good teacher fashion, what I also realized is that it was my responsibility to my students. It's just who I am, who I was as a teacher. And so I started developing these kits called First Purse at that time. Girls knew where they were. They could go get them. It had everything in there that they needed: pads, an extra pair of underwear, all of that. And then the epiphany came where girls told me like, hey, Miss Roberts, this is uncomfortable. Like these products are not really made for me. And so my co-founder, Monica Williams, who is a family member, was an entrepreneur, and she and I just, kind of got together, and it took a while. Her daughter was an infant at that time. She didn't see kind of the sense of urgency as I did. And so finally we got together, and we, thus RedDrop was born.
Oh my gosh. I love that story, and it's definitely needed. You know what? I think the technical difficulties are going on. We're having a storm here in Atlanta. So that's probably what's happening, because I see my videos getting a little jerky, but the show must go on. So we're going to continue. I'm sure that's it. Even though I'm plugged into Ethernet, I'm not sure why that is. So we're going to keep going. But let me ask you, what makes your products unique in the market for tween, like menstrual care? Like, how did you go about designing it specifically for tweens? When we say tweens, that's like 12, 10, 11, 12, right? So
right. I mean,
9 too sometimes.
Right. An article was just released last week that talked about girls starting their periods as early as 8. So usually the tween age starts around 9 or 10, goes up to, of course, 12, and then you have your teenage age. But the difference with RedDrop is that we have pads that are sized appropriately for tweens and teens. So basically you can take our smallest pad, which is about 6 inches. It holds up to 4 to 5 tampons of flow. You are not sacrificing the absorbency, because just because it's a small pad doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It also is odor wicking, because we know that girls are really still in the learning phase of learning how to take care of their bodies properly. Next, we have more adhesive on our pads. So girls are in recess, they're in sports, they're active at school and after school. So we put that on there to make sure they don't shift during those times. And we have 4 sizes of pads. We also have feminine wipes. Most bathrooms, unfortunately, in schools don't provide paper towels, or their paper towels are really harsh, or they might have a dryer. So we have these feminine wipes, so girls can use that to wipe themselves up and to clean themselves and be ready for the rest of the day. The real goal is with our products is to empower them that they can still go about the rest of their day on their cycle. They don't have to miss instructional time. They don't have to miss sports time. They don't have to miss any time doing anything. So that's why our products, coupled with our educational series, we are rooted in education. So we have an 8-part educational series. We have our new interactive puberty workbook that you can purchase, and we have a facilitator guide that helps the caretaker walk them through the workbook. And we also have a chapter book that we partner with Rebel Girls on periods and puberty. So we have tried to really take care of it in a real circulatory way, from education to appropriately sized products for girls.
Okay, hold on 1 minute. We're stuck. Here we go. We are having such, I don't know if you can hear me because I know I'm frozen, but we are having so many issues. I just don't understand. We had a podcast earlier. It was just perfectly fine. So I apologize to the audience for this. I'm trying to fix it behind the scenes. I see them working over there to see if they can change the internet. Can you hear me okay though, Dana?
I can hear you. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, because I think my video is just struggling. All right. So beyond the products, how do you educate tweens and their families about menstruation? Because that's an important topic, because that a lot of parents and families don't want to talk about.
Yeah, and let's be honest, a lot of Black parents, it is unfortunately a taboo that has been generationally passed down for us. And so how we educate parents is just like, within our puberty series, we have an 8-part puberty series. We have a dad series just for dads. We have the interactive puberty notebook, workbook, and we have a chapter book. And we also educate on our social media platforms. So our social media is really rooted in facts, in trying to educate girls and their caretakers all about, puberty, menstruation, everything from, the gamut of all of it. And so that's how we try to approach it in different ways to really resonate with our audiences.
Okay. All right. I think we had some more issues here, but we're working on it. All right. So I think that's great because, like you said, Black families don't want to talk about this at all. And when they do, a lot of times it still leaves the girl unprepared. And often we will give them the wrong size tampons or pads. So what has been your experience with that, with parents that you work with?
Well, so first of all, Black people, Black families, and to be honest, it's white families too, but I want to be I'm very clear that I'm very unapologetic, especially when it comes to Black and brown girls, how I advocate for them. And so Black families have a stigma as it relates to most Black families. I don't want to say all. Most Black families have a stigma as it relates to periods. Why? Because we sexualize periods. Because I can remember my grandmother telling me, as soon as I got my period, oh, you can get pregnant. That, and we're talking to, now we're looking at a sexual act. Well, that's not, while that is factual, right? That's not what we should be focused on. We should be focused on that it is a biological, something that is biological that happens to your body. And if it isn't happening, that is a signal that your body is not working properly. And so the first thing that we have to do as Black folk is to really destigmatize and desexualize periods and approach it that way. Here's your body. Here's your reproductive anatomy. This is what is happening during the reproductive phase. This is what is happening during your menstrual cycle. That's what we need to start doing. And, that is what we're trying to do with RedDrop, with our education and with our outreach, really having the courageous candor with parents, and especially with Black parents, to say we're not going to continue to normalize periods with sex, with sex. We're going to normalize periods as a natural bodily function. And let's have that conversation and empower a tween or your girl appropriately. I said this yesterday on another podcast. I am really, really, really rooted in the fact that if we have this conversation now, then when a tween grows up, and decides possibly to have children, it really sets the tone of advocacy, as a tween grows up, because we both know that Black women face more systemic healthcare racism than any other, entity. And so if you start early having the conversation with your girls about what your body should be doing, how you advocate when your body isn't doing what it should be doing, then it is going to grow with them. Especially when we get to the age of potential fibroid issues or childbirth concerns. It is just really important. So that's why we need to get over the stigma and the taboo associated with, just bleeding once a month. That's all we're doing. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
I agree. Now, what has been the most impactful feedback that you've received from the community about how RedDrop has helped, like, the girls and their caregivers?
The most impactful feedback is that, it is just what we were talking about. It has For a lot of parents, it has released, like it has made them feel more comfortable in having the conversations. It has released a taboo, a stigma associated with it, and that we have given them some talking points and some guides on to have the conversation with their daughters. So now they both feel great. They're both empowered, and that has really been it's honestly what we're here to do, to really make an impact in that way.
Okay, well, what were some like the biggest challenges? Because you're an entrepreneur now, so a business owner. So you develop these products specifically for young girls. What has been one of your biggest challenges?
Our biggest challenge is raising capital. As an entrepreneur, as Black women, we have this dream that, we can be impactful in this way with these products and with this, kind of education. And really selling, this dream. And it's not, and it's a dream, but it's hard work behind it, where we've done the hard work. We have bootstrapped all the way here. We're a multi-million-dollar company. We just got our first institutional investment in the last 2 months. And we're almost 6 years old. So to be able to do that, that was just like, that was blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of tears. And so what has been the most challenging part for us is being afforded the equitable opportunity to raise capital, and to get loans that are not predatory. So that has been the most challenging part for us.
You know what you're saying is the common complaint, especially for Black businesses, but for Black women businesses too. I understand we get like 2% of a lot of the fundings, especially startup funding, even though people think that, oh, you're a minority business, you should be well funded. That's a myth. That's really a myth.
It is a myth.
And I feel it because we had the magazine, and we had the magazine since 1993, and it was on newsstands, and it was difficult trying to find funding for that. And we were the first Black parenting magazine in the country in print. But we couldn't get funding. So I share your pain, and I understand. But what you're doing is so needed. I read about stories like even in Africa to keep girls going to school, that they need pads and things like that. Does your company work with that, or other countries like Africa, or is that something you want to do or plan to do?
Yeah, so we have definitely sponsored through like different individuals who go to the continent, right? Who say, I want to take products over to the continent. And we're like, absolutely, we'll donate, we'll sponsor. It's really important for us to do that. Period. Poverty is real here locally, in America and abroad. So that is definitely something that we want to expand to, on the continent of Africa. And we haven't done it on a large scale, but definitely small projects, wise, we've done that.
Well, I think that's wonderful. I've been to several countries in Africa, and I know when I go into the villages, they're all the kids come running looking for gifts. They like ink pens, and the older girls, they could definitely use your products. Ink pens, candy, that's what they're actually looking for. So I always try to bring something when I go, just for that reason. I'll keep that in mind the next time I head to the motherland. Maybe we can help some young girls stay in school. But I want to go back a little bit. Could you share your personal story? Because there's a really story that I read about how creating this product has impacted your own daughter's views on menstruation. Can you talk to the audience about that a little bit?
Yeah. So, like, I said before, this product was created, for our daughters. I have two. Monica, my co-founder, has one. And when we really got going, my oldest daughter, who's now 26, so about 5 years ago, and my other daughter, Kamani, would have been 15, we literally said, hey, this is what we're thinking about products. What do you think about it? And not only what do you think about it, try them. And they were brutally honest. Like they were like, these are absolutely horrible. They feel horrible. I feel like I'm sitting on a diaper. To these are great. Even with our period underwear, we have period underwear, and they were essential in really providing feedback for us, especially my older daughter, because she's younger. I mean, older in a sense, but at that time in college, and like kind of really had her hand on the pulse of what young people especially were trying to get period products to innovate into. So like she was the one who introduced me to menstrual cups. That wasn't my thing, and so she was like, Mom, you like, tweens really deserve menstrual cups as well. Like you should really look into it. And menstrual cups are really a sustainable, option, especially like when we're talking about going to the continent, where you might have limited water supplies, limited things like that. Product trying to innovate products in that manner to serve, our populations, they really helped us with. So they were brutally honest, and I appreciate that because, you get to the point like, hey, you're like, I don't want a girl to use a product that I wouldn't want my daughter to use. So if it's not good for my daughters, it's definitely, it's not good for them. It's vice versa, all of it, across the board. So they were essential in that, and they really provided us, great feedback on how to continuously improve our products.
I think that is wonderful. It's a family affair. I absolutely adore that. I think that, if you can get your family involved and they are truly committed to helping, you got it. That's the way it should be. So
Yes.
congratulations on your daughters and their feedback. Now, I was on your website. I didn't see the menstrual cups. Are they coming out, or are they out? Did I miss them?
They're
Are you thinking
coming.
about it?
They're coming soon, just like we talked about funding. So we're going to
Okay.
launch tampons first,
Okay.
and then menstrual cups, but they are coming.
Oh, that's so you guys, you heard it here. Menstrual cups are coming. They're very helpful.
Mhm.
Yes, indeed. So especially I think during when you're sleeping and
Yes.
you're moving around, those are very, very helpful. What are your long-term goals for RedDrop? Well, I know you want funding. I know you want to do the menstrual cups, but how do you see your company evolving in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I see us in major retailers. That's our next goal. Um, and when I say major retailers, it might not look like the ones that you would think of. I'm really I really want to drive home that we should be able to get period products anywhere, So it's like, hey, if you go to Old Navy and you go through the aisle, when you're about to, check out, you might be able to see a cute period pack there. So really just pushing the mindset of where you should see period products and normalize period products being in spaces that you might not think they should be in.
Right. Don't limit us to one aisle in the back of the pharmacy area, right? I like
Please.
that. All right. That's
Yes.
perfect. Now, you mentioned Rebel Girls. Are there any other partnerships or collaborations that you've been particularly beneficial, like in spreading that they have been beneficial in spreading Red Drop's mission?
Well, we partner with several organizations, Girls Inc. of Atlanta. We partner with several schools, like we just did the Atlanta Public Schools Back to School Bash, where we gave away 3,000 products to scholars so they are ready to start school on day one, prepared. So yeah, just across the country. We definitely partner with smaller organizations, more grassroots, that are wanting to make an impact to their immediate communities.
Okay. Now, let's go back to the business part of it, being an entrepreneur. Um, and I wanted to know if you have any sort of advice for any other parents or entrepreneurs who might be listening that might want to start their own business like that. What would you say to them?
Oh my gosh. I would say do it. Dream with action, dream with tenacity, you can definitely do it. I do believe in, if you are providing, especially, a product or a service that is going to impact humanity, that you owe yourself especially to carry it out, to see it through. And I will also challenge, people tend to tell you what success looks like, right? So you're not successful if you're not here, if you're not in major retailers, or if you're not this or that. And I challenge that. Like, if you're successful if you're making an impact. So if you are, you have your small business and you're making your impact to your community, and you're successful, and so then you have to decide what's the next level of success that you want to get to obtain. But don't let anybody tell you what your pathway to success is, or what success looks like for your business. You just keep doing what you do, making your impact, and you'll be fine.
That's fantastic. Now, you have an opportunity to speak to Black parents that are listening.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them whatever it is that you feel that they need to know about either your product or whatever it is that's on your mind that you want to make an impact about. What is it that you would tell them, since they're now listening?
I would tell them it's our time. It's our time to change the cultural mindset. That it is our time to empower our daughters, and uplift them and educate them in their bodies, what their bodies are supposed to do, and really drive home that our bodies are normal functioning bodies that have a period. And so we need to work together to destigmatize periods, and uplift period care, not period management. I don't like the word management. I like care. We're caring for our bodies. We're caring for our periods. And so it's time to do that. And it's time to forget about what grandma said and what great grandma said. It's time to destigmatize tampons, because we all know sometimes, in the Black community, tampons are stigmatized. It's time to stop it. It's time to stop it. We are women. We bleed once a month. That is how our bodies are designed. And it's time to empower our daughters so they can empower their daughters. That's what I would tell them. And RedDrop is here to help you do that every step of the way. And we hope that we can be a partner to do that with you.
Well, Dana, you are very wise, and the advice is on point. I want you to also let people know how they can find RedDrop.
Thank you. So you can find RedDrop at our website at tryreddrop.com. We are also on Amazon. And of course, you can find us on all social media platforms, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. And we are also in several school districts across the country. So if you would love to have RedDrop products in your school, feel free to visit our website, and we tell you how you can do that.
Wow, Dana, it has been a pleasure having you on the show. I want to thank you for coming out. I know we had some scheduling conflicts. I'm just glad you made it. And now we had technical difficulties. And just so you guys know, it wasn't us, it's the cable company. They're having outages is what we found out. But luckily, it's working pretty decently right now. So thank you guys for hanging in there. And Dana, I hope you come back on the show again when you have some new products and talk about those as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. And a big shout out to all of you for tuning in, engaging with us here at BACKtalk by Successful Black Parenting Magazine, the syndicated podcast that is a must for Black parents everywhere. And make sure you follow us on social media. The more you engage, the more we all can thrive. Now, we'll be back next week with more. Until next time, I wish you all the best and much success. Take care, and thanks for listening.
Thanks for tuning in to BACKtalk by Successful Black Parenting Magazine. We'll see you soon.